Headline: Coinbase argues crypto is like Beanie Babies in SEC case hearing. And this is a real headline. I can't make this stuff up off of Bloomberg. And hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know what Beanie Babies are, this was a major craze in the 90s, late 90s. And essentially what it was is like all these people in the Midwest wanted to buy these plush toys. And the general idea is that you would buy them because they were limited edition, they were special, and you could find someone else to pay for said things off of eBay. This was a thing, and for those of you who are younger who don't know what a Beanie Baby is or don't remember this Beanie Babies craze, I'm just telling you that people will buy anything. Moreover, if you've been following the recent news, I guess these Stanley Cup things are really popular. Even my wife wants one of these things. I told her we're not spending $200 on eBay to get one. It's just a cup. But thank God my wife's not in the crypto. But anyway, I want to talk about the Coinbase thing because it is actually a really interesting argument that they're saying, hey, crypto is essentially a collectible, not a security. Therefore, SEC has no jurisdiction. Let's read the quote here. So you can see here, William Savitt, a lawyer for Coinbase, told U.S. District Judge Catherine Polk-Fela that tokens trading on the exchange aren't securities subject to SEC jurisdiction because buyers don't gain any rights as part of their purchases, as they do with stocks or bonds. And here's the quote. It's the difference between buying Beanie Babies Inc. and buying Beanie Babies. Can't really talk about Beanie Babies. But essentially, that's the argument they're trying to go with. Hey, if people want to buy these crypto things, it's just like Beanie Babies. There's basically greater fool theory. And the government's like, no, I don't think so. This is the reply. A quote is from the SEC. When they buy this token, they are investing into the network behind it. This is coming from SEC lawyer Patrick Costello. Quote, one cannot be separated from the other. And it's actually really interesting. This has to do with the Howey test. And the basic gist of it is like, how do you determine whether or not something is an investment / security or merely a collectible / commodity, something to be traded. Here's a quote here. So it says, the regulator points to the 1946 Supreme Court decision defining a security as a investment of money in a common enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profits to be derived from the efforts of others. So if that definition ends up being fitting for crypto, it'll be under the SEC. If not, it won't be. So that's what we're going to court over. I find this whole thing to be really laughable because it's actually really interesting. The crypto bros will always tell you, and I'll see in comments on the channel, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. Crypto's got this great technology. It's so awesome. You got to read the right paper. You just don't understand it. That kind of stuff, as they try to tell me. Yet Coinbase is trying to make the opposite claim of like, well, no. Crypto is just a collectible. It's really all about Beanie Babies and finding someone stupid enough to buy it from you. Essentially, they're arguing with the greater fool theory, right? So if you don't know what this means, it means you're doing something dumb because you believe someone else will be even dumber than you, right? So I'm a fool to buy. In this situation, we'll use the example of the Bored Ape NFT. I'm dumb enough to buy the Bored Ape NFT for $3,408,000 because I think I can find someone to sell it to for, say, $5 million, $6 million. Who knows? I laugh at this stuff because we'll probably look back in history and this will be kind of the same kind of situation as the Beanie Babies. We all knew that it was like a joke. Now, the difference, though, between I think this, say, the Beanie Baby situation and this one, at least the Beanie Baby, I could just put it in my house and look at it. But I guess to be fair, if I buy the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT, I guess I can put it in my house in a digital iPad and hang it on my wall, that kind of thing. I still wouldn't pay $3.5 million for this thing. That's just me. You guys can do what you want with your money. But I want to point out that a lot of the times with these kind of crazes, be it your crypto craze, Beanie Baby, collectibles, etc., a lot of people lose out, right? So if you look at the chart of Dogecoin, some people do win. Yep, some people do win. I can see if I would have gotten the very beginning, back in 2013 or something like that, maybe I make 4,000% of my money, maybe a lot more if I sold it at the top. But what happens though is that there's a lot of people who get into the craze late because they kind of think, oh wow, look at all these people making money. I want to make money too. Look at Elon Musk is tweeting out Dogecoin stuff. It's going to be awesome. And if you bought this thing at the top at the peak of the craze, you'd be down 87% of your money, basically all your money. And a lot of the people, now these days watching crypto channels and all this kind of news, Coinbase, etc., are just hoping their money comes back. I hate to break it to you, and I know sometimes I'm a bit mean, but I got to tell you the truth. This stuff's not coming back. it's not, and it is what it is. And the thing is that I want to point out, and you guys may not know this, I do social media / YouTube all the time, and so I see like crazy comments a lot. Plus, I see a lot of scams and fraud. I'll give you an example. This is just 19 seconds ago. So I always check, before I record to see if there's any funny comment to share with you guys. 19 seconds ago. So someone was criticizing me. I put out a video regarding a Tesla pumper who's jumping ship. And I read the comment that says, this is from user KL8. And they say, only pumper is the ass hat pumping negative bias, right? So this person's accusing me of being a bad person, etc. And because I'm picking on the Tesla pumper. But there's a couple things I want you to mention. One is YouTube flagged this as being a spam comment. So YouTube picked up on this as being possibly spam. Then I got to check it. And then when you click on the profile, it says Daniel Palmer, but the account was created January 18, 2024. That means today. The account was created today. So you'll see these kind of things. And so like, is this a real person? Is this someone that was hired by, because this is real, guys. I'm telling you the truth. As a YouTube channel, if you really want to, you can pay for services to go out and put a bunch of positive comments and likes and views on your channel. Some channels do that stuff. It's YouTube frowns on that kind of practice, but it can be done. Or you're some crazed person who's like down a whole bunch of money on your Dogecoin or your Tesla or whatever funky stuff that you're in, and you start making a fake account to like try to convince all these people to do said things. I'm sure these are bots or whatever. You guys know this, right? If you log into whatever social media platform, I'll use Instagram as an example. Man, I get contacted all the time by hot girls around the world that want to be my friend. Moreover, if you check your email, I don't get it so much on Instagram, but like if you check your email, I always find out that I'm related to some Nigerian prince who left me millions of dollars, right? So if you believe everything you hear in the internet, you're gonna get suckered into this kind of Dogecoin stuff. You're gonna get suckered into these people who make fake accounts, etc. Moreover, and I hope you guys understand why I laugh at this Coinbase and all this crypto stuff, because I've seen this stuff before, and I'm old enough to understand these things. You guys may or may not know I'm pushing 50, so I saw the .com bubble. I saw the subprime mortgage crisis of the 08 crisis. Moreover, take a look at this headline. This is a recent one, August 24, 2023. Logan Paul promised to repay crypto, and this is Crypto Zoo people, victims of 1.3 million. A tracker shows it's not happening. And essentially, you try to scam people, and it just doesn't work. Now, I want to address the collectible thing, and I also want to address this crypto stuff. So it is very, very true. You can make money in a bubble. It's very true. But you just have to know where you are in the cycle. So I'm going to give you a couple examples here. This is a true story. If and I told you guys my age, etc., so you'll understand, especially for older people, you understand this. I grew up in an era where you could make money on comic books and baseball cards. It was a real thing. Same way with some people actually did make a bunch of money off Beanie Babies, how stupid as it sounds. What happened was with the comic book thing, and this is true, I paid for part of my college with my comic books because I was really good at comic book stuff. But eventually there comes a point where you have market saturation. The reason why I'm showing you this X-Men situation thing here is that Marvel, DC, all the comics companies were doing it back then. They saw that there was a collectible craze in these things, and they started putting out more comics than people could actually buy, more than the market could handle. And what they would do is they would put out like issue number 1, this was X-Men, and they would put out variants of the issue because it wasn't really about reading the story so much anymore, about trying to sell you as many books as possible. And no one needs to buy 4 copies of the same comic book. That's what they try to do, but ultimately the whole system crashed. And it's interesting because, the question is, and this is the same with, your NFTs, your crypto, stuff like that. The value comes from what will someone pay for it. So according to this, if I was just looking at a website, if you want to buy a expensive Beanie Baby, I guess the most expensive one, it's this one right here. Is it Chef Robuchon Beanie? The going price, I guess, is between $8,000 and $12,000 if you're into that. Moreover, it's not just Beanie Babies. You could talk about Pokemon cards, right? You can make money off this stuff. It's true. I guess Logan Paul is buying this stuff for $6 million. This Pokemon card is like the most expensive one out there. But just understand that this is a bubble, and the party ends when you can't find someone else to buy it anymore, right? And there's a chance that Logan Paul bought this at the top. We'll and you guys can make the judge in that. Now, when we're talking about, say, crypto and collectibles, remember, Coinbase is trying to make the case that these things are collectibles. There's a couple things to mention. So one is what makes something collectible. I would argue something that's rare, right? I would argue something that's original, these kind of things. So art is inherently different than something like, say, this Pokemon card or this Beanie Baby or the X-Men comic. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in the X-Men comic situation, yes, an artist drew it. Yes, I can see that. But you're not buying the original. You're buying replicas, essentially, right? Because the comic company, they can print as many as they want, the same way that essentially a crypto, NFT company can issue whatever. Now, I do understand. I'm not stupid, guys. I get it more than you know. So the case that the bulls make for, like, say, Bitcoin, stuff like that, is like, no, we're not going to make any more of these things, right? Maybe I get it. I completely get it. But it's still based on, the Bitcoin thing is still based on you're buying it, assuming that you can sell it at a higher price at some point in the future, right? It's all speculative. The difference between that, and this is where the interesting argument becomes, is when I buy, say, stock in a company, I'm buying ownership of an actual company that makes something that generates profits, that does something with the expectation that it's going to, make me money in return. When I'm buying a crypto thing, and this is the argument that Coinbase will make, is that you're not really buying ownership of anything. You're just buying a collectible. And that's going to be interesting. How are you buying a part of the network, right? Would you go with the SEC's argument, or would you go with Coinbase argument? It's just merely Beanie Babies. So you can make money on Beanie Babies, but just do be careful out there, and know kind of that is a joke. And it's funny because I just want to talk about Beanie Babies because I think it's fascinating. They became popular too because eBay was a new thing back then. And I was thinking about this stuff, just sharing with you guys, my history and this stuff. I've always been into this kind of stuff. I think it's fascinating. And also recognize when a bubble is a bubble. Now, when I was a kid, I grew up wanting to work on Wall Street and that kind of stuff. So this was the movie that all the kids were watching. I think it was like 1987. So it's a long time ago. And kids these days, they probably watch Wolf of Wall Street or The Big Short, this kind of stuff. So I was well aware of that. There's a lot of money to be made, but it's also well aware of that there's a lot of corruption. So that's why I don't get so tied up into the crypto stuff, because I acknowledge, and that's why I'm truthful with you guys. I acknowledge that, yes, some people made a bunch of money off this stuff, but I also realize that chances are most people didn't, right? That's why I'm pointing that out. Moreover, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I've talked about this before on the channel, but I just want to mention again for those guys who've never heard this stuff. My wife and I, we were invited to a party. It was called Pro Rata. The CEO guy, he actually went to my school, so he was a friend of mine. And invited us, and basically what it was like an early Masterworks NFT kind of thing. Now, we didn't know this at the time. I was like, okay, we'll go see what it is. And it's slightly different than, say, crypto, but it's related because they actually did have real art. So they had like real art, and they would show it. And then what you were doing, you were buying shares of the art. And so at this opening party, they invited like essentially all their richest friends. So that for real, there were actors there and film directors, famous newscasters, etc. It was like a celebrity thing, and it was interesting because they had a really nice bar. Free champagne was flowing everywhere. It wasn't really, quote, free, because they're trying to sell you shares of this artwork stuff, and you're going to get in early, and they had really good whiskey, etc. It was nice. We ultimately decided not to put any money into this stuff, even though maybe we could have made a ton of money. It just I didn't see it, and this is something that you just got to understand and be rational and realistic about this stuff. Yes, you can make money on these kind of things. Yes, it's real art. Yes, it's real share stuff. But what are you really buying? And at that time, because this was early in the NFT crypto, because this is like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago already. I was just like, what the heck is this thing? That's what I kept saying. What the heck is this thing? And we actually had a friend that also went to school with us. And this is Brown. He is a lawyer now, a big time lawyer in Korea. And he was like, oh, this thing is genius. They're going to make so much money, etc. But, we'll see. As it turned out, the Pro Rata thing, my friend's company, he actually sold it to Masterworks. Moreover, it's the same with the Coinbase kind of thing. And the reason why I'm just telling you guys this stuff is because I've seen this stuff come and go. I know people who are in this stuff. there's money to be made, but the vast majority of people don't necessarily get into that. And then you got people every day saying, "Where's my money? Give me back my money." And I bring up the Logan Paul thing because he basically tried to do this as well, scam his audience with Crypto Zoo. This is saying though he may end up paying people back 2.3 million. Now it went up from the last article that we saw, but who knows if he's ever going to pay back anybody. And essentially, I cover this stuff and watch this stuff and share it with you guys because I find it entertaining and interesting. But I mean personally, I don't throw money in this stuff. I don't trust these. I just don't trust this stuff. And now that they are making the argument that it's just a bunch of Beanie Babies, I'll let you decide if you want to stay in the craze. So do appreciate your time, and welcome to Beanie Baby Crypto World. And I'll catch you next video.